Hello, Zach.
Hi,
How
how's it
are
going?
you? I'm fantastic. This is the last video we are recording today, and it is
Unless
a
we recorded really fast.
spooky one.
Very much.
Yeah. This is going on the horror channel, which at this moment is currently still just the second channel, but the horror video seemed fun, so we're doing it again.
Yeah, as long as we can keep doing them and like we keep having fun making them, it might just take over what the second channel is, and then let's make a third channel for the everything else.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like I sounded like a JoJo's guy there for a second.
You know, you're doing the psycho killer. Yeah.
Zach, I made a mistake.
What was the mistake?
The mistake was picking this property.
Yeah, we're here to talk about The Shining.
Oh yeah.
A real good time for everyone.
Oh yeah. And a movie, Zach, that is and I didn't really know this until I started digging for this theory. A movie that is famous for its conspiracy theories.
Yes. It's about the
Turns
moon landing. It's about
yeah.
everything.
hmm Turns out that this fandom is well, I don't know. I guess there are kind of people. So, like before we get into like full on literary analysis mode, I think that you will get a ton of dings just by talking about the plot of The Shining.
Uh, um, Jack Torrance, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Jack Torrance is a writer who does not treat himself well. This character is written by Stephen King, who presumably knows nothing about what that's like. Uh,
uh
he's
uh
from he's from New Hampshire. Uh, he uh, is a writer. He's an alcoholic. He has his wife Wendy and his son Danny. Uh,
yeah, we got a couple of
oh,
dings. I'm not gonna ding them. I'm just gonna put them up as you're talking. Oh, keep going. You're good. Go ahead.
he hurt Danny before too. He broke his arm, I think. I think that
Yes,
might just be in the. Is that in the book or the movie too?
that is in the movie. Yep.
Okay, yeah. He is like a shitty father. He is not that great of a husband to his wife either. And then he gets the he gets the caretaker position for the hotel, the Overlook.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Uh, Wendy is a thoughtful and resourceful person.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hang on. Wendy is a subdued individual with very little personality outside of her relationship to Jack and Danny.
Yeah.
Fight me in the
She is
comments about
first
it.
and foremost a, she is first and foremost in her life a wife and mother before she has any. She doesn't really have a ton of agency,
Correct.
which makes it scary that she like ends up trapped in there with him as he's like not just slowly but rapidly losing his mind.
Yes. I'm giving you this ding. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Oh, oh boy. It's a hell of a thing we're doing today, Zach. It's a hell of a thing. The game, for people, I don't know, like you might just be coming into this video and you've never seen any of our videos before. I have a theory. It is on my phone in front of me, and as Zach pulls pieces of evidence, I'm going to give him a ding, and I'm going to write that piece of evidence on the board. And at the end of the game, Zach is going to string these pieces of evidence together into the theory that I have about this piece of media. We call this game "Give Me Another Card," but we don't say that very much anymore.
We do occasionally, but yeah, that was the nickname for it.
We're getting better.
We're getting better about it. So let's get into the supernatural elements here.
Sure.
Danny has telepathic powers. He has
That's
premonitions and he can shine people.
that is true. Um, what in the film? What does he do?
He shines with the chef.
That is correct. Ding. Danny communicates with Dick Halloran.
Played by the wonderful Scatman Crothers.
No, I'm sorry. Danny becomes friends. With fellow Shiner, Dick Halloran, who dies at the end of the movie. Yeah, there you go.
Guy who has multiple framed pornographic images in his bedroom, Dick Halloran. He's an icon of this in this channel, in this community. We stand Dick Halloran.
I'm a Dick Hallistan. All right. Okay.
So we're recapping a lot of things here.
Oh yeah.
Should I talk about the Overlook?
Yeah, sure.
The previous caretaker killed his wife and young daughters and himself a decade ago. Like there was a famous mass murder here.
Ding. It is mentioned offhandedly that the murdered Grady twins tried to burn the hotel down. Now, you clipped a piece of this by just referencing the murdered Grady twins.
Yeah. Danny sees them also.
He does. Yes, he does. That is relevant. I'm not sure where that goes, so I'm gonna put it in the middle. All right. That is relevant, Zach. Do you want to connect that? That is a chunk. That is a chunk of the theory. Can you connect it? Can you connect this? Danny communicates with these kids. Can you connect that to something else on the board to turn this into one of the chunks of the theory?
He talks to Halloran also. He could shine at people and he could talk to ghosts.
Ding! So what's that chunk of the theory?
That psychic people can see the dead.
Ooh, almost.
That Dick Halloran was already dead the whole time.
Oh, I like that. I really do. I really do. But that's not what I'm going for. Danny can communicate.
Oh, Dick Halloran is a chef there. He must see the ghosts. He must know that the twins are there.
Yes. Okay. What?
Or at the very least, then Danny seeing ghosts is completely different from The Shining, or something of that sort.
Or the fact that they are ghosts is not relevant to whether. Wait, the fact that they are ghosts is not the reason Danny can see them. It is the fact that they are that they may also be capable of shining.
And that's just a means that ghosts and humans can communicate.
Correct. And that is piece one. That is not original. I think that the Grady twins could also shine. If the Grady twins could also shine, what might that say about other individuals that they meet in the hotel?
Could The Shining be something that's passed down from like your family? Could it possibly be that Jack Torrance could also shine?
In Doctor Sleep, hang
Oh
on,
boy, we're busting on a Doctor Sleep then.
in Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, uh, it is it is explicitly stated that Shining is hereditary.
So if he has kids, he would have The Shining. So he either got it from his dad or his mom.
Um, yes, this one goes down here, right? Maybe right there. Um, uh, uh, Danny speculates in Doctor Sleep that his dad could also shine. And one of the in Doctor Sleep, I don't know if you know like the basis of the plot. Um, Danny, as an adult, has become an alcoholic, like a very bad, very poorly functioning alcoholic. Um, and he is an
Not
alcoholic.
unlike his dad.
Yes, and he is an alcoholic explicitly. This is stated explicitly in the book. He drinks because he shines, and he wants to make the voices be quiet. And that's why he drinks, because it lets him sleep. It lets him be quiet. Uh and many fans speculate, and I think Danny like offhandedly implies that this might be the case, that what if his dad started drinking because he could shine too. He couldn't make the voices stop, so he started drinking.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Brief sidebar. A lot of this is about the plot of The Shining. The theming of The Shining, as far as I'm concerned, is not detracted by explaining these things. The
No, like
themes of The Shining is what happens to you when you get better and what happens to you when you don't. Uh, that I love these. I love these properties, whether they have explanations or not. But we're gonna try to
yeah.
explain them today.
Well, this also reinforces the theme of familial abuse, right? Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jack Torrance is passing down to onto Danny the like poor treatment he puts on himself that probably came from somewhere. Like the whole thing of him trying to murder his family and the guy before having successfully done that is the like trauma and abuse inflicted on people by the people who ostensibly love them, are supposed to be there for them, are supposed to always support each other. How bottled up that can turn toxic and bad. Uh, and interestingly, I want to go back to the main quote here. This sort of encapsulated in the ending when we see a picture of Jack Torrance at the end of the movie with a bunch of patrons when it was like busy, implying that he had been there forever, basically.
Boom.
That
Ding.
being in the house was not meaningfully different from his life.
Absolutely. History. This is one of the big ones. History repeating itself, especially within families, is one of the main themes of The Shining and Doctor Sleep. Danny becomes his father, and he understands and internalizes that, and that is not a happy thing. In fact, it's one of the most moving scenes in fiction that I have read. It's really quite upsetting.
Yeah.
Doctor Sleep turns out really good. All right, Zach. All right, that's one of the big ones. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. How am I gonna get you here? I think we're doing okay. Keep going. Let me fill in one hole over here. We have Jack and we have Wendy. In the film The Shining, Danny is an audience surrogate.
Yeah.
he's kind of just watching it. He's kind of just witnessing what happened.
He has even less agency. Wendy has very little agency, but she is an adult. She can find a way out if she absolutely needs to. He's a kid. He is along for the ride.
Yep.
He has been taken to a strange place to be alone with nobody but his family for the winter.
All right, Zach. I think I am now going to do the first of several rug pulls in this video.
Oh boy.
Which is that I'm now going to do this. Boop. And I am going to quarter this canvas.
The fact we're pulling hints from Dr. Sleep was apparently not enough of a rug pull to count as a rug pull.
Here we go. This canvas is now quartered. We're going to do one over here. I guess it's fifth. Here we go. Hell yeah. So we have some space now, Zach. We got some space. Space.
Okay. So we have a Dr. Sleep corner.
We do.
Oh, hold on.
No, go ahead. It's the same. I just wanted to redraw it. It's the same.
We have a Dr. Sleep corner. We have the film The Shining corner where we talk about okay, we have a Danny corner. We have a hotel itself section and possibly Jack section and 2 blank sections. I have no idea what goes in there.
Yeah.
Fill in one of the sections for me. Give me a card.
All right. Would you like top left, bottom right, or another one in the middle?
Bottom right, I feel like completes more of a. If they flow together, I feel like that's going to be more useful.
I'm going to write this and then explain it. It requires a lot of explaining, and I don't have the space to write it all. Oh, why are you so small? Stop it. Stop it. Band shrift. Zach Riff. I gotta change the font.
No, you're good.
No, don't crash. No, don't crash. For folks at home, we just had a full crash, so I'm having to recreate what we had on the board. So just like bear with me.
Dr. Sleep. Okay, so
we might miss some stuff, but it's fine. Tools. Band shrift. Okay, so up here we had Jack is a terrible father and husband.
Yeah.
You. Wendy has little personality outside of Jack and Danny. Hang on, pause. Go ahead and X this out for me. Thank you. Beep. And Danny is an audience surrogate. Okay? Okay, you with me?
Yes.
Down here, the characters in Stephen King's The Shining. Come on. And Stanley Kubrick's The Shining are vastly different.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
That was weird. What the devil?
Is MS Paint haunted?
I think it must be. Did I press the button that makes this the desktop background? What the hell? Get out of here. Whoa. This is the curse recording, Zach.
We shouldn't be talking about The Shining, I guess.
Character. We're going to push through. In Stephen King's The Shining and Stanley Kubrick's The Shining are vastly different. Okay. All right, Zach, I want you to talk about that briefly while I fill in a couple more of these things that we lost.
So there's a real Stanley Hotel that they I think they filmed it there. That was the inspiration. There is a real hotel, IRL, that is the main inspiration. And then uh is it actually filmed there? I wonder.
You're the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker. Hell yeah. Okay. Keep me going, Zach. What else was in this middle bit? Oh my god. I'm so off kilter now.
Yeah.
History repeating itself. History.
History repeating itself, especially familial history repeating itself.
Familial history is one of the main themes of The Shining and Doctor Sleep. I'm gonna cut around some of this.
Kubrick did not film at the Stanley Hotel, which inspired the story. The television movie of The Shining did film at the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. All right, Zach. Oh boy. Now that we've gotten through that, and now that no more problems are going to happen, we can continue.
Nothing else will break through the whole recording.
What did I say about Dr. Sleep?
And Dr. Sleep was in Dr. Sleep he speculates that his dad had the same condition as him.
In Dr. Sleep, Danny speculates that his dad may have had the shine. It is explicitly stated that this is hereditary.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the film of the same name.
Hereditary, yes.
So, have you figured out what the corners are yet?
One is Dr. Sleep.
Correct.
One is the character of Danny.
Incorrect.
One is the book.
Correct.
One is the movie. So this is The Shining, the book.
This is The Shining, 1980.
That's the movie. Okay.
That is correct. This is The Shining, 1977.
So stuff that only happens in the book. Because Dick Halloran lives in the book.
Correct. Ding.
Because he's there for the final scene.
Yeah. Get up there. In Stephen King's oh shoot, I've done this wrong. In Stephen King's The Shining, Dick Halloran lives.
And he sees Danny at the end and like says sorry that he lost his dad.
Ding. Yeah, I'll give you this. Okay, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to get out of here. I'm sorry, Sergio. I'm cutting off some of your name. Okay, bye. Get up there. Fine, good enough. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. If you came here for things that are like well put together and sensible, I don't know what you're expecting. So glad that you are not that you're like getting this lesson early. What did you say about Dick Halloran, Zach?
He's there in the final scene to like say, yeah, that's a real bummer about your dad to Danny.
That's correct. You know, I'm gonna put this down here. Dick Halloran mentors and comforts Danny in the years after. And Zach, where does that not happen?
That does not happen in the movie. In the
That's
movie, he's very much dead.
Doctor Sleep, 2018. 2019? Will you look that up for me, please? The
Oh,
internet's
this
gonna
is
get so
the
mad at me.
Doctor Sleep book is a sequel to the book, and the Doctor Sleep
Correct.
movie is a sequel to the movie.
Correct.
This is a rug pull. This is not a Shining theory. This is the Doctor Sleep theory.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba.
This is a movie about the 2018 film Doctor Sleep, which I
Yeah,
never
let's
watched.
go. Doctor Sleep. Did you look up the release date?
Uh, Let me look up Doctor Sleep.
I think it's 2014 and 2018. Something like that.
The 2019 film
Okay.
based on the 2013 novel.
Damn it. Got them both wrong. Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep. Yep. 2013. All right. We finally figured out that what kind of theory we're doing. This is not a theory about the film The Shining. This is a theory about the universe of The Shining.
Oh boy.
All right. That's gonna have to do. Okay. All right, Zach. Here we go. I'm so excited. So I say over here, and this is one of my most important points. The characters in Stephen King's The Shining and Stanley Kubrick's The Shining are vastly different. Vastly different. From the moment that they walk in the door, in Kubrick's The Shining, Jack Torrance is a monster. Right? He is all.
But he was before walking in.
Yes. He is a terrible person who has like he says in the film that he's been sober for 3 years, but later when he's talking to the ghost, he says, "Here's to 5 miserable months on the wagon." Which means
he's been lying to his family about his sobriety.
Correct. Wendy and Danny are both kind of non-characters. Not that they're not interesting, not that their performances aren't excellent, but they are characters who have things done to them. They are not characters who do things.
Yeah, there's the horror comes from the complete lack of control they have with the situation. They went into a massive place alone in the mountains with a person they know is a terrible person, hoping it all works out.
This is not the case in the book The Shining. Like, Jack Torrance is a deeply flawed man who is really struggling with trying to be sober and trying to be a good husband, but he is not a monster. He is an unhealthy
He did
man.
still hurt Danny though.
He did, absolutely. He 100% did. Which makes him a terrible father, but not like Jack Nicholson's version is.
He's not a horribly irredeemable monster yet.
Yes. Yeah. You really get the feeling in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining that he was ready to kill them anytime. Any provocation, he would have been ready to kill them.
Yeah, it would have been in the back of his head, yes.
But in the novel, like, Jack is like playing with Danny. He's a decent, like, when he's sober, he's a decent man. He is a decent father and a decent wife, a decent husband rather, who listens to his wife, and when things start going weird and sideways, he listens to them both and tries to understand what they are saying. But then the hotel gets its hooks in him, and then he starts drinking again. And then he goes
he also
sideways.
starts to see weird things.
He descends into Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Jack Nicholson, there's not really much descent. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He sucks from the jump. Similarly, Wendy as portrayed by Shelley Duvall is awesome, but doesn't do doesn't have much agency. Because in part of her relationship to Jack, who is really a terrible person. In the novel, she's a thoughtful person and a resourceful person, who can't see anything that's happening in the Overlook, but understands that it's fucked. Everything has gone sideways, and like makes plans to save herself and Jack and Danny, and cannot save Jack.
Yeah.
I love her character in the book. She's awesome. And Danny is like a curious child, right? He is a like he is the Rugrats, as opposed to in the book where he is like kind of a doll. You know what I mean? In the book, he just sort of like wanders around like a zombie, like a walking camera. He's Arya Hota.
Yeah.
And experiences these things, as opposed to in the book where he like actively like goes around and seeks them out. I really get the feeling that Danny in the movie never thinks about anything. He never has a thought.
He purely reacts to things on a like instinctual basis. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in the book, he's like, "Hey, I wonder what that thing is. Hey, there's kids over there. I'm gonna go chase them."
Yeah.
I
There's
wonder.
curiosity that leads to the horror.
Yep. And there's also like a I don't know, like an unbelievability subplot to the book where Danny is like, "Hey, I saw some fucking kids over there. What's that about?" And everyone
they're
else
like,
is
"No, you
like,
didn't."
"Yeah, like what are you talking about? There's no one else in this house." Which is just an interesting difference between the books. The point of all of this being that these are very different properties. And it's weird that they are as different as they are if those differences are coincidental. And I wanted to talk about some of those differences because I think that they are not coincidental. I think that they are intentionally trying to depict not just a different story, but a different universe. Which I think is very cool and very fun. I am going to circle a couple of things, right? This is its own little like, this is its own little block. This is relevant. I kind of hate what I've done with these lines. They looked better last time, but that's fine. We can only do so much. I'm just gonna give this a square, and then I'm gonna continue. Zach, do you have anything to add before I move on?
No, you've covered it all pretty good.
Okay.
I know nothing about Doctor Sleep the movie. I know a little about Doctor Sleep the book.
The movie.
Okay, I know one thing about Doctor Sleep the movie, which is that Ewan McGregor's in it.
That is extremely correct. I will give you one of the notable differences right off the bat if you want it. No, I'm gonna wait.
Go for it.
I'm gonna wait. This is the only thing from that whole bit. This is the only thing I'm gonna write down in The Shining. Danny Torrance is the most powerful mage in history. So, Zach, who's at the Overlook in the book?
In the book, at the Overlook,
there's fucking 5 characters.
There is, not including ghosts or including ghosts.
Not including ghosts.
In at the Overlook, it's Danny, Wendy, Jack, Dick Halloran briefly.
Yep.
And then he comes back.
Yep.
And
that's basically it, right? That's basically all the living characters. Zach, what do all of those characters have in common? Except for Wendy.
They can shine.
It's kind of weird that all of the characters at the Overlook can shine.
Have the ultra rare psychic power ability.
Isn't that weird, Zach? Don't you find that kind of weird?
Are you inserting that the hotel brings, and also we were asserting that the twins could shine also.
100%.
At least one of their parents could.
We are asserting that the twins can shine. We are also asserting that their parents could shine. Zach, what is part 1 of this theory?
The hotel brings people like this to them.
Boom! From downtown! Absolutely! Part 1 is as follows. This is not original, alright? This is not, but I did think of it originally. I thought of it on my own, and I've had this in my head for a while, and I've wanted to do this theory for a while, and this is it. This is called the the parasitic overlook theory. That
The Overlook is feasting on the death of Shiners.
hunts and eats, no, not hunts, baits and eats people who can shine.
It is weird that they hired a writer from Maine to overlook a hotel, to oversee and caretake a hotel in Colorado.
This is number one. This is what I have written on it. The Overlook Hotel. Oh, here's another theme. You know how I like themes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where to go? Objects and locations having desires and objectives is a theme in Stephen King's works. Like what, Zach?
Sorry, hold on.
Objects and locations. Yeah.
Needful things, for starters.
100%.
It's a theme in It.
Yes.
Dairy, like it, the titular monster, has found different ways to inflict pain on Dairy Maine throughout history.
The kids in It keep saying dairy brings us back.
Yeah.
They don't say it brings us. They don't say Pennywise brings us back. They say dairy brings us back. My favorite example of this is in Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah.
The burial ground in Pet Sematary really seems to want people to bury stuff there.
Yeah, it's really on board.
Yes. It's really quite enthusiastic about it, actually.
Pet Sematary also exists in the same space in my brain as the South Park episode making fun of Pet Sematary. So I don't know if somebody actually says sometimes dead is better in Pet Sematary.
I assume in South Park it's not sometimes dead's better. I assume it's sometimes dead's better.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah, don't worry, they say that. Judd Crandall with that famous Stephen King Maine accent.
Sometimes dead is better.
You know, maybe it's best if you don't go up onto that Pet Sematary anymore. There's a lot of like, it's kind of like Southern, but there's a lot more back of the throat.
It's like you're doing a Christopher Walken voice in the Southern accent.
Wow. Sometimes dead's better. Yes. I have that. I'm not gonna write it down because we're gonna run out of space real fast. But in Pet Sematary, they want things. That thing wants things.
Yeah.
In Dr. Sleep. Do you know the antagonists of Dr. Sleep?
It's a cult, right?
Kinda. The antagonists are called the True Knot. I will explain them in a moment. But also in Dr. Sleep, this is true of both properties, by the way. Also in Dr. Sleep, the True Knot has a base camp, kind of, at the location that used to be the Overlook. Because we haven't talked about this explicitly, at the end, and I should write this down, at the end of The Shining, the Overlook explodes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But this is not true at the end of the book. At the end of the movie, what happens at the end of the movie?
At the end of the movie, they kill Jack and escape.
Jack dies, and the Overlook is just fine.
It does not explode at all.
It's still there.
which I presume is true of the movie.
The movie Doctor Sleep?
Yeah.
Yes. The oh no, please no. Okay. The end of I'm not actually going to write this down because we'll just it'll be fine. The climax to both the climax to Doctor Sleep 2019 takes place at the Overlook Hotel. Whew. Okay. All right, Zach. We're halfway through a marathon, but don't worry. We're actually doing great, I swear. Let me give you some Doctor Sleep notes, okay? The True Knot, please just absorb. I know this is gonna sound insane. The True Knot are a bunch of immortal energy vampires that feed on kids with The Shining.
Fascinating. That doesn't actually surprise me that much. That's like right up Stephen King's alley.
Over the course of the book, Danny becomes friends with a child living in New Hampshire named Abra, who is the newest, most powerful person who can shine. She is past Danny. Fun fact, we learn later, she passed Danny because they are brother and sister. They're siblings. She is Jack's illegitimate child. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. That's where the whole hereditary thing comes from. The True Knot, led by Rose the Hat, who is one of the coolest villains who's ever lived, by the way, becomes aware of Abra and starts hunting her. Danny and Abra manage to make it so that the climax does not happen at Abra's house, but instead happens at the Overlook Hotel, where the True Knot lives. They live at the campground that used to be the Overlook Hotel. So to finish up with the Parasitic Overlook bit, I assert that, like the thing in Pet Sematary, the Overlook like baits and coerces things like a Venus flytrap, like a pitcher plant. It baits people with The Shining to come there so it can eat them. And I think that there is some like leftover of that the True Knot have picked up on. And that is why they chose to use that as their base camp, because it is so full of terrible energy that smells very attractive to people who can shine, and that's why they're there.
I buy that.
Okay. All right. I'm not out of breath, Zach. You're out of breath. Okay. Whew. Oh boy. All right. Where do I need to go? We're fine. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Yes, we did that. We did that. We did that. We did that. Zach, I'm gonna give you a card.
Go for it. I'm deep into the part of the lore I don't know, so that will help.
The Overlook Hotel. You would have gotten this ding, but I wasn't on this part of the page. The Overlook Hotel appears to be able to manipulate time to some degree. What do you think of that?
I agree, yes.
I assert that this is further evidence of this. In Doctor Sleep, the True Knot, who really suck, by the way, the True Knot, yes, they're real fucking nightmares. The True Knot kidnaps kids who can shine and tortures them, because the more afraid you are, the more in pain you are, the more, they call it steam, that's what they eat, the more edible you become, right? The more food you produce. I assert that the Overlook is doing something interestingly similar. That it like captured Jack and is torturing him, like, permanently, so that it can eat him.
That would make sense too, because when he gets there, there's no liquor in the cabinets, and later it reappears when he desperately can't relapse.
Yes.
Just in time for him to relapse, the liquor
Yes.
appears.
So Jack is Jack is tortured while alive and then dies, and then we see this end card that is him like like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I assert that is the house keeping him there and torturing him in the same way that the True Knot tortures these people, just on a bigger scale.
And that explains why the ghosts are there of all the other shiners as well.
Yes, you're damn right.
Play with us forever and ever and ever.
Yes, that the Grady twins are there, currently being fed upon. But what happens at the end of the Shining book, Zach?
They blow it up.
That sucks. That sucks if you're the hotel, doesn't it?
Yes.
That really.
So you need to find a way to get people back there.
Yes. You are still this terrible entity, right? Like, I don't know, if you knock over all the gravestones at the pet cemetery, does whatever's living at the pet cemetery just die? I don't think so.
No, the gravestones were never the point. Something deeper is there that wants to bring things back to life, that wants to bring them back, but different.
Whatever this thing is, it's still alive. But I assert that, like, the half surviving corpse of the hotel, that's what's being fed upon by the True Knot. That's why they like it there. Danny and Abra in Dr. Sleep. Danny and Abra can, like, swap positions. They learn, because they're the most powerful mages in the world, so they can kind of do whatever they want. They can swap positions. They can, like, swap into each other's heads, which is very useful a few times over the course of the series. But Rose is able to exploit this by, like, mind hopping into them when they don't notice, right? They think it's going to be a two-way swap, but it ends up being a three-way rotation, which makes for some very scary scenes. But is relevant in a few minutes. Oh boy. Okay, Zach. We're in the final stretch now. I find the internet's gonna be so mad. I find that the differences between these things, I find these things very interesting. And, like, we find that there are, like, different timelines within the movie and the book that exist within the movie and the book. I assert that the movie and the book exist in the same universe, but they are different realities that Jack is living through as he is being tortured.
Interesting.
Right? They, like, people, the Overlook keeps on playing this same, like, sort of occurrence again and again and again and again. And in some of them, Jack freezes to death. In some of them, Jack kills his two children. In some of them, Jack is at a party in 1921. But in some of them, in rare occurrences, just the very, very rare occurrences, the Overlook explodes. This is not ideal for a number of reasons.
Yeah, in some of them he manages to.
In some of them, the hotel loses.
Not in a literal
Zach.
sense. He manages to escape from the hotel's power.
Yes. In some of them, that is what happens.
Hold on.
We're losing Zach. We can't be losing Zach this deep. We're so deep in tinfoil.
I think I'm good. Oh, hold on.
Hello, I can hear you. So, Zach, can you hear me? Oh no, Zach, please, no. No, Zach.
There we
Oh,
go.
hello?
There we go. Hello.
Are you back?
Yes, I
Yes!
am.
Okay. Um, Final piece of theming. Canon timelines are a theme in Stephen King.
Yep.
Uh, this in one of my favorite Stephen King books, which we talk about sometimes, 11/22/63. Um, uh, uh, the universe itself seems to be opposed to the changes that the main character is making. The more the main character tries to change about the past, the more the world, the main timeline, seems to be resisting him. It's very interesting. So Zach, I present to you theory number 2, the infinite shining theory. The two versions of events that happen in The Shining 1975 and The Shining 1980, Dr. Sleep 2013 and Dr. Sleep 2019, are all in the same universe and represents different moments in the timeline of the same entities being tortured by the Overlook. In some of these iterations, it bit off a bit more than it can chew with Jack Torrance or Danny Torrance. In some timelines, this results in the hotel's death, like in the Shining novel. The corpse of the Overlook, supercharged by the death at the end of 50 energy vampires standing right over it, takes advantage of the final battle of Danny and Abra and Rose to mind hop swap with Danny and Abra back into the canon universe of the movie, where the hotel is able to still be alive.
That's fucking unhinged and awesome.
Zach, if you're the Overlook, which of these scenarios would you rather be in?
The one where I'm not blown up if I'm the hotel.
So in this one down here, at the end of the book, Danny and Abra kill 50 vampires on the grounds of the Overlook, and then no one ever goes to the grounds of the Overlook again. In this one, at the end of the movie, Danny releases the ghosts that he's had stuck in his brain, and they devour Rose in the Overlook. Which of these is better for the Overlook, Zach?
The Overlook just got a whole bunch of ghosts that weren't there before.
Yeah.
That's another reason you would attract shiners, is if ghosts follow around shiners.
So Zach,
you can collect ghosts.
I'm like, Danny and Abra really felt smart that they were having the final battle on the grounds of the Overlook. But what if that was one more piece of the Overlook baiting them there?
Yeah. That is totally believable.
One more bait, one more piece. And Danny lives. Danny lives at the end of this one. And then after Rose dies while eating Danny at the end of this one. But Danny doesn't get eaten by Rose in the end. Danny dies. Who eats Danny, Zach?
The house.
The house fucking eats Danny.
The hotel eats Danny.
The hotel eats Danny, Zach. Danny's trapped there with his dad.
Oh my god, you're totally right.
Yeah!
He did not, in the end, manage to escape his father. He ended up exactly where he did, dying in not too dissimilar a way.
Yup, he died the same way, and he's stuck in the same place. Just like his fucking dad. And that's not the way it works in the book. In the book has a really hopeful ending. Danny lives, the hotel is dead, Rose is dead. Almost all of the True Knot are dead. There's only a couple that survive. And Abra has been it's like 2 years later, and Abra has been using her shining powers to like be an asshole to the other kids. She's really
Yeah.
being mean, really cruel. Um, and in another universe, she could have been like, who's the guy from The Boys, the mean Superman?
Homelander.
Yeah, she could have been him, right? She could have been mean Homelander. She could have been Homelander. She also could have been Danny and Jack, right? Where she turns to alcohol abuse or drug abuse or some other, right? She could have destroyed herself
Yeah.
to avoid these things that she has to deal with.
Yeah.
Instead, Danny becomes a mentor for her at the end of the book. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Proving that like you can move past if we're going for the traditional like abuse theme reading of it, you can move past it. You can be a better person. You can pass on better lessons to your kids.
yep, you don't have to be like me.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Danny at the end of the book is 15 years sober. That he gets his 15-year chip. I don't have to be like me either.
Yeah. Yes.
That
I
is
can grow and change as a person also.
That is a really, really nice ending for everyone but the hotel.
So the movie made sure it was a nice ending for the hotel.
The movie is a nice ending for the hotel, and frankly, it's kind of bad for everybody else.
Yeah, yes. Everybody else is dead and stuck there.
I think that just like Rose hitched a ride in Abra's brain, the hotel hitched a ride on Danny, and like we get like a fucking palette swap at the end of the movie, at the end of the book. I'm sorry, at the end of the movie, when the hotel from the other timeline finds its way into the correct timeline. The timeline where Abra and Danny have a happy ending, that is a dead end timeline. That is not the canon timeline. The hotel did not stay in that one. Fuck
wow. Yeah. This is so much. This is kind of genius.
Yeah. It's batshit is what it is, Zach.
Yes.
Welcome to the horror channel, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Glad you are watching and enjoyed this.
Oh my god.
Absolute insanity.
Oh. Yeah, Zach. I just finished the book Dr. Sleep recently. It's really good.
Yeah.
It might be my favorite Stephen King property. It's not particularly scary, but it's all about like getting over it. It's about understanding what's wrong and understanding when you're the problem and then fixing it.
Yeah, which is a good theme.
Yeah. It's
and
good.
one that Stephen King probably knows a thing or two about.
Yeah, absolutely. I love a Stephen King book when it's autobiographical.
So all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love his portrayal of himself as Pennywise.
Yes, that's his author insert is Pennywise.
Hell yeah. Like I imagine the Overlook Hotel as something like Pennywise, where it is a thinking, feeling creature that realized that it is dying and crawls away. The True Knot, by the way, we like barely talked about the plot of Dr. Sleep. The True Knot is insane. The True Knot are energy vampires, and they all have their own superpowers. And like, if Rose the Hat wasn't such an asshole, it would be My Hero Academia. It's fucking awesome. One of them can listen at great distances. One of them is a world-class tracker. One of them can put people to sleep with a word. One of them can turn invisible. It's wild.
Oh yeah, that could be its own whole book that
Yeah.
it isn't, which is something you say a lot with Stephen King.
I like Dr. Sleep. I also had on this. Let's see. Let me just run through and see if I missed anything, and then we can go. I promise. Holy shit. So when push comes to shove, none of these are sequels to any of the others. They all exist in the same universe, just in slightly different timelines.
Yeah.
Every person who can shine has powers specific to them, which is very cool. Danny's ability is that he learns from Dick Halloran. Danny can capture spirits. So at the end of Doctor Sleep, all those ghosts get loose in Doctor Sleep. At the end of the movie Doctor Sleep, Danny over time has captured, like, he captured the lady in the tub. He captured the caretaker, right? He's captured all these nightmare ghosts that are like these hungry revenants, and he sets their asses loose on Rose. Is good, and I like it. At the end of the novel Doctor Sleep, Abra's grandmother, who's been a character the whole time, has died of cancer. And Danny asks her if it's okay if he eats her. Danny eats Rose's great grandmother. And then Danny eats Rose's great grandmother and then feeds Rose's great grandmother to the True Knot, which gives them all cancer at a hyper accelerated rate, and they all die.
I'm sorry, I'm suffering from information overload right now, Tom.
Which bit? Was it the cancer or the eating the grandma?
It was about 40 minutes ago.
All right. That's it. Yeah, I think that's what I have. Oh, another interesting difference that we didn't talk about. In the movie, Danny says to Abra, "When I was younger, I used to call the Shining Tony." You remember Tony from the movie, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In the book, Doctor Sleep, Tony is a character. Tony is
he's still around.
Yeah, he's his own individual who's like weird and creepy and like lives in the background. Also, there's a magic cat. That book's fucking weird. So Zach, those are my two. That's it. Those are my two. It is the Parasitic Overlook theory, which I think is very cool and very meritorious. Yes. And there's the Infinite Shining theory,
which is not meritorious, but is very cool.
But is a lot of fun and batshit insane.
Yes. I think the Overlook being to some degree parasitic, and that being the case in both the book and the movie adaptations, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. I like it like tempting people is, I think, very cool.
I agree.
Zach, why I think this is the end. If you like this sort of thing, please do leave a like. Please leave a comment, because this is one of the first we are doing on this little spin-off series. And we picked a big one. And we are both a little overwhelmed. So tell us how you feel about it, please. And Zach, I'm gonna say, why don't we end with your favorite quote from The Shining?
How do I quote the bear that gives him a blowjob?